Hi, welcome to this session, Blossoming Daisy. My name is sfgmdamba. Today, I just want us to speak on a mentality that kind of robs us of the richness of life. It's going to be a short video, but I just want us to stop and think a bit um, about there are things that are in our lives that rob us of life. Like we think we're living, but it robs us of life. The one thing, firstly, is being goal orientated. There's nothing wrong with being goal orientated, but it has pros and it has cons. So one of the cons that when I sat and thought about it was the fact that, okay, the good thing pro about being goal orientated is the fact that it disciplines us, it gives us drive, it gives us direction. We can measure our maturity, that this is what I want, this is where I'm at, this is what I still need to go through. It's a great thing, without having any goals. We just float around and not have a specific place to be at. So it gives us purpose. So yes, that's a pro in being goal orientated. But one of the negatives, the cons, in focusing so much on the goal is that it robs us of our lives because we never focus on the process. We only give ourselves the joy once we've reached the goal. So it's very rare. Most of the time, looking back on my life, I've always just focused on the goal, to such an extent that I robbed myself and never focused and was never in the moment because I was just so goal orientated. I just told myself that I'll be happy once I have this, and not realizing that I could have just been happy even during the process, like during the journey. So this is what I want us to look at. There are a number of things in our life that actually push this mentality forward, that you only enjoy life once you have something you were searching for and never the process. So we focus on literally just enduring the process, not enjoying the process. One of the things is social media. Social media, I've actually gone to a point where I've logged out of my, even though I still have the app, my Facebook and Instagram on my phone, but I've logged out so that I don't get notifications throughout the day. It's only when I do have the time and I'm like, okay, let me go check, then I log in and look through. But because I did this, because I noted that we might be sitting as a family or as friends, wherever, and a notification comes through. I want to be there. Like, I want to see so and so has gone live. I want to see that so and so has gone live. This is what has happened. Literally, we have been trained to want to be somewhere else, whereas we are in another place. Like, and never actually enjoy the presence of the person we are sitting with. Because if I am sitting with a friend having lunch, okay, and then all of a sudden a message comes through. They speaking and I am on my phone. Firstly, it's rude. And then secondly, I'm not enjoying the presence of the person I'm sitting with. And as much as I may enjoy it, I'm not focused. Like, I'm not in that moment. So I've literally been trying to teach myself that, okay, we get into a restaurant or I'm at home, there's my mother talking or whatnot. I just take my phone, put it face down and focus on the person I'm with. It might be family, whoever, but it's something that takes away from us and we never actually enjoy being in that. It's literally like media pulls us in many different directions, that if you're there, you're there, you want to be there, you want to, so and so was actually on the trip, so and so is actually, like, you just want to be in 1,000 places in one time, and that's not how our minds were created. So we rob ourselves of having fulfilling, rich relationships, having fulfilling conversations. We don't even go in depth with conversations anymore because now I have to, all of a sudden a notification came through. So yeah, and then another thing would be, as much as we were taught to strive, one thing that often lacks is being taught to be there. When you're in primary, you want to be in high school. When you're in high school, you want to be in tertiary. When you're in tertiary, you just want to work. When you are working, what's next? I need to get married. When I'm married, what's next? I need children. When I have children, what's next? I need, like constantly we're just running towards something. We're just running towards something and never actually sit and enjoy the moments. Because as we focus so much on the goal, we hardly ever sit and focus on that, you know what, I actually achieved that and that. You know what, I'm actually good in my life right now. I'm actually enjoying my life right now. In one stage that I feel like we are often robbed, especially as women, is the life of singleness. We always, this thing in media and whatever in our lives is taught us that, okay, if you're single, you're just very bored. Guys, there's so much to do in life. There is so much to do in life than having a partner. Okay, but in me being single, can I enjoy the season of singleness? Each and every phase of my life will come with challenges. So if each and every phase of my life and season of my life comes with its own challenges, there will never be a season or a stage in your life you just reach and you're like, oh my gosh, I've just arrived and everything else can just, you know what, yeah, go jump off a cliff. There's never that stage, because the person who's actually married now wants a child. The person who does have a child wants another one. The person, now wants that car. We literally never arrive. So that means that, ouch, that means that we are to just enjoy the journey, because we live our lives, accomplish so much, never enjoy what we've accomplished because we've just been taught to just run, run. So a friend of mine had lunch last week, yeah, and both of us are single, but we are in different phases of our singleness. Like, we have different stories in our singleness. So I'm going through something, she's going through something. And as we discuss what we're going through, she's like, you know what, I wish I were in your shoes. And I'm like, you know what, I actually wish I was in your shoes. And as we sat there, we're like, you know what, each person must stick to their own road. Because if you constantly want to be in my shoes, I constantly want to be in your shoes. It simply means that each and every phase has its own challenges. So let's just be happy and be content with where we are. Can we just focus on that? Because life of singleness, there are benefits. Let's focus on the benefits, because life teaches us, or society or media teaches us, to always focus on the negative. You're single, you don't have what, you don't have what. You're a mother, you can't just go out. You focus on the good of that phase, so that you don't feel like you have to endure it. Because in the life of singleness, God is teaching me contentment, like being happy. And what singleness gives me is I'm able to focus on purpose. I'm able to focus ministry-wise. What I do when it comes to the work of the Lord is much more than what I can do when there's a partner and there's children involved. So I'm enjoying this phase, this where I'm at right now. I need to do what I need to do, so that when I am at another phase, I don't look back. I'm like, you know what? I wish the days of my youth are gone. I wish I focused on them. So at this phase, if you're in tertiary, study, enjoy it. As much as books are fun, enjoy it. Those days are going to be gone. You're going to be working, you're going to have responsibilities. Yeah, then you're going to want to go back to high school and be broke and have your friends and have fun. And after working, then there's marriage. If you do want to get married, that comes with a whole new set of responsibilities and challenges. There's never, I can't repeat this isn't enough. There's never a phase that you're going to get to that you are not going to have challenges. There's never a phase you're going to get to and you're just like, I have arrived. Just enjoy where you are. Where you are, enjoy it. So that you don't regret. Because most of the time when we are at a place and I'm trying to move to the next phase because like I'm so goal orientated, because we don't have control. We don't have control of everything. We don't have control. So I might be wanting to be at this phase and I can't get there. And what will I do? I'll start trying to make things happen on my own. Put God aside. It's taking too long. I'll try and mix things on my own and try to get where I'm going. Proverbs 19:21 says, "Many are the plans in a man's heart, but only God's will prevails." So the many times, the many mistakes I've made were always mistakes I've made because I just wanted to jump ahead of God. If God, the enemy does two things. If he can't stop you, he'll push you too hard. Like, so you run ahead of God. And when you run ahead of God, there's a lot of dangers because this is not what God has said for you. So enjoy where you are, as in focus on where you are. And if there's discontentment on where you are, ask God. Ask God to kind of give you that peace. In the sense of, okay, Lord, whenever it's time to do that, bring it to me. But right now, I'm going to enjoy the phase I'm in. For example, there's a young mother who's just gotten her baby. Every young mother I've spoken to have been like, you know what, my entire life has just gone to this baby. Whenever they cry, every inch, every inkling they have, like, I have to be there. I have absolutely no life. They just want a cup of coffee in a restaurant. Like, for me, where I'm at. A cup of coffee in a restaurant is like that. But for her, where she's at, it's something else. There needs to be a whole lot of coordination, nannies, whatnot, to do that. So let me enjoy my singleness so that when time comes for that, I can actually enjoy that because I enjoyed the previous phase. So even work-wise, career-wise, school-wise, enjoy where you are at. Like, the enemy is always trying to push us and it robs us of the richness of life. We literally run up until we come to the end of our lives. We are in our coffins. And if we were able to like kind of look back from that, like, as I robbed myself of so much. I often think of Steve Jobs, how I watched the movie. Okay, cut out Steve Jobs. But even if you are going through a trial, like a hard time, one thing I've learned with God is the fact that when He allows something to happen, like a rough situation, He is teaching us some sort of lesson. He wants us to absorb something that we will need for the future. He doesn't just teach us something just for the sake of, like, high school, where they taught us about locusts and their anatomy. But anyway, He teaches us something so it will benefit us for the future. And the enemy, right in the same midst, like the same situation, the enemy just wants to destroy you, crush you down. So God wants to teach you something, wants you to grasp something. The enemy just wants to crush you. But in the midst of it all, what I can do to benefit from whatever I'm going through, even if it's hard, is ask a simple question: Lord, what am I to learn from this? What am I to benefit? Because there's no mistake. There's no trial that's wasted. Everything that happens to us, we can take away from it. We can be blessed from it, enriched in it, instead of enduring it. So, yeah, I know what I'm saying is not easy when it comes to the practical when I'm going through stuff. But we can just ask a simple question: God, what should I learn? And if we just simply endure the trial, endure the pain and whatnot, and never take anything and learn anything, God is very faithful. If I need to learn this lesson for something in my life, something in the future, He will always bring it back. God doesn't condone. He doesn't do that to move from one grade to another. No. We need to get to a point where we actually absorb the lesson. So if I go through a trial and I don't learn the lesson that I needed to learn, another trial will come through with the same intention of teaching me this particular lesson. So, what can I do? Best is to literally be in that moment, whatever it is, and absorb it. So that means good times, bad times, absorb it. Like the reality. If it's bad, if I made a mistake, I take responsibility and I try, okay, Sma, let's focus. How can we absorb this and how can it teach us good? So a good experience is for our good. We absorb it, the richness of life. A bad experience is me taking responsibility of my input in it and then learning from it. Life goes on. So basically, in it all, we are always to learn. But the bottom line of the session is to look at how we are to always receive um, good things from the Lord. Okay. First Timothy 6 verse 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain. Yes, I'm focusing on my journey with God, but being content in whatever I'm going through, good or bad, be in the moment, receive it, take it in. I will never live this moment again. Like this very second, I'll never live it again. But I am taking the sessions, whatever I'm doing, I am learning. Looking back with all the videos I've done, one of the things I've always struggled with is consistency. And having this YouTube channel, a lot of people might think it's for other people. Like, for me, it has taught me an incredible amount of consistency. Like, I'm absorbing, like looking back, I'm trying to see, Lord, what is this teaching me? Because it's not just me teaching other people, I am learning as well. So what is this teaching me? Like consistency. You struggle with that, so I'm teaching you to be consistent. Go again and again and again and again. So each and every moment we live is to enrich us. So be happy where you are. You can blossom into the gorgeous daisy God created you to be.